Hola amigos, ¿cómo están? Bienvenidos a nuestro chat de mayo. Estoy súper emocionada para estar aquí. Tenemos 9 viewers ahora, entonces vamos a esperar como hasta 9:05 para más gente para llegar, ¿ok? Entonces si tienes como más para hacer o algo, como tenemos 5 minutos y vamos a empezar. Bueno. Hola amigos, ¿cómo están? Para la gente que llega, vamos a esperar como 4 minutos más para empezar a las 9:05, ¿ok? Entonces, si tienes como algo, alguna más para hacer en 5 minutos, pues, y vamos a terminar el webinar a las 10 más o menos, pero depende de cuántas preguntas ustedes tienen. Entonces, yay. Ok, amigos, 1 minuto más y vamos a empezar, ¿ok? Entonces, enviar un mensaje a tus amigos, VPs, tíos, miembros para log on ahora para ver este webinar increíble. Ok, amigos. Tenemos como más o menos 15 gente que están aquí ahora. Entonces, si tienen amigos o algo que no están aquí, por favor, como send them a message to remind them que tenemos este webinar ahora. Bueno, ok. Entonces, hola amigos, ¿cómo están? Para la gente que es su primera webinar con Isaac en México, bienvenidos. Soy Elena, el MCVP oGE oGT. Estoy aquí en mi cuarto en el MC House. Puedes ver Mariana aquí. Ella es mi roomie. Oh, Pirates. Yes. So, si hay como muchas como ruido o algo en como the background, ignore it porque hay muchísima gente en esta casa, entonces siempre hay cosas que pasan, ¿sí? Y también vivimos súper cerca al aeropuerto, entonces hay muchos aviones que pueden escuchar también. Entonces, si hay algo que como no escuchas, no entiendes durante el webinar, como avísame en como el link que voy a poner en un ratito en el PPT. Entonces puedes como, Elena, no entiendo, Elena, no te escucho, o algo, ¿ok? Bueno, entonces vamos a empezar. Tengo el PPT super cool aquí. Entonces, bienvenidos a nuestro chat de mayo. Estamos aquí en el video, entonces puedes, si vas a como ver el PPT después de eso, puedes como recordar cuál bitlist hay. Si tienes como alguna duda, pregunta o algo durante el webinar, puedes escribirlo en Facebook, ¿ok? Entonces, en nuestro grupo de Facebook. Voy a tenerlo en mi teléfono ahora, entonces, después de como cada etapa que tenemos, puedes como poner un comentario en the post where it has like the announcement for the call and I can answer, ¿ok? Entonces, súper bien. Y para como, remember, durante como todo de este webinar que va a tener como 1 hora más o menos, depende de cuántas preguntas tienen, take notes, como escribir lo que quieren, no quieren olvidar, preguntar, por favor, preguntar como questions super relevant, ¿sí? Not like ask me to repeat things I already said unless you couldn't hear me for some, which is okay. But of course, questions that you have looked for the answer to already, but you haven't been able to find. Yeah. So, bueno, antes que empezamos con todo el contenido, vamos a jugar un poquito, ¿sí? Eso es como, no podemos como hacer un icebreaker o algo, entonces, yo sé que hay mucha gente allá que han tenido como sesiones conmigo, entonces, sí, usualmente hay como unos datos o hechos que yo that I share con la gente, entonces, I don't know if some of you have heard this or not, pero es como un game, ¿ok? Tengo 3 preguntas, and I want to see how fast people can send me the answers to these questions, okay? Entonces, hay 3 preguntas, ¿sí? What was the first year of what was the year of the first GT exchange ever in ISIC? What was the year of the first GE exchange? And what was the year of the first GV exchange? Okay. So, si saben, como cualquier respuesta, tienen 2 minutos para enviarme la respuesta. Okay. Entonces, time is happening. And también send me your nombre so I know. Because I have most of your numbers, but if I don't have it, I want to know who you are. And you will get a special shout out on this webinar. You don't see the presentation? Okay. 1 second. I am fixing that now. Sorry, guys. Ok, aquí tienen. Entonces, aquí empezamos las preguntas. Perdón, amigos. 2 minutos. Y tengo una respuesta de Caro. Gracias, Caro, de Laguna. Tan, tan, tan. ¿Alguien más tiene una respuesta? Un minuto más. Hay muchas cosas que están escribiendo en el VP Group ahora y son respuestas diferentes, entonces eso va a ser súper interesante. Tin, tin, tin. Qué interesante. 30 segundos. Ay, some of you are close, some of you are not, pero está bien. These answers on the VP group are very funny. ¿Hay algún como miembro o TL que quiere responder también en esta club? Ok. 5 segundos, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yay, Happy New Year. Ok, tenemos muchas respuestas. Tenemos como 1430 AC, tenemos 2000, tenemos 1950, 2015. Hay muchos. Entonces, are you guys ready to hear what the correct answers are? Super increíble. So, there was one person that said the year for GT. I don't know if you meant it in the right order, but Caro, congratulations. You put this year somewhere on your thing. So the first GT exchange actually happened in 1953. So ISIC was founded in 1948, but we didn't actually start making exchanges happen until 5 years later. So, and GT was the first ever kind of exchange area that we offered. GE, the first GE internship, very close, but it happened in 2014, 2014, no in 2015. Entonces, you guys were super, super close. All of you, you know who you are. Not 1780, sorry, Charlie. And finally, GV, the volunteer experiences we have. The first GV exchange happened in 2009. So just about 8 years ago, which is really not that long of a time, right? So just again, so you guys a reminder, we are part here of the group that does GT and GE, right? So this is something that's a very old product, the classic ISIC product that's been happening almost since existence. And something that's the newest product that ISIC has, GE, which is super, super cool, and we have a lot of potential with. So I hope you guys remember, and you can pull out these datos with your LC, and they'll be like, oh my God, wow, that's cool. That's so cool. How did you know that? And you can be like, I watched a webinar. You can learn so much from them. And it encourages all the other members to watch webinars with you. So thank you guys for playing that game. I hope that was fun. So before we start the webinar, again, I have one message from you, and I was inspired to share this message with you because I actually watched Star Wars last week for Star Wars Day, and I was watching the movie, and I was like, oh my God, this message is amazing. Why didn't I show this in Atlantis? This is crazy. So I'm going to show it to all of you guys now. And if for some reason the sound does not work, I will give you a brief overview of Que Pedo, and you can watch it later on your own YouTube video. Okay? So, aquí tenemos.
We'll never get it out now. So certain are you? Always let you what cannot be done. Do you not think that I say?
Master, moving stones around is one thing. This is totally different.
No, no different. Only different in your mind. You must unlearn what you have learned.
All right, I'll give it a try.
No, why not? Do or do not. There is no try.
I can't. It's too big.
Size matters not. Look at me. Judge me by my size, do you?
possible.
That's why you fail.
Okay, amigos. So I hope that you liked the video. I watched it and I was like, wow, this is great because it talks about one, how it's not about trying. You can't say that you're going to try. It's about do or do not. You're either going to do something or you're not going to do something. Es todo. ¿Sí? También es como, don't judge, yourself or somebody else or an LC or your team or whatever by how big they are in terms of how many exchanges they've done in the past, their history, how long they've been in ISIC, their market, their university, their estado, their ciudad, whatever it is. Size really doesn't matter. It's about either you do it and how you do not. You're committed or you're not committed. And then the reason at the end why, Luke is like, I don't believe it. And Yoda's like, that is why you fail. If you don't believe that you can do something or you don't believe that something is possible, then you're going to fail. It's very simple. So I watched that and I was like, oh my God, I really needed to hear that message right now. And I think that my network also needs to hear that message. So that's what I wanted to open the webinar with. So yay, I hope this also encourages you to go watch Star Wars later on. But yes, okay. Entonces, para ver como que va, like, what's going to happen today con la agenda, tenemos como 3 bloques, como siempre. Uno es como qué pedo con abril. Vamos a como reflejar un poquito qué pasó, what was it good, what was bad, what can we improve. También vamos a hablar como qué tan importante es mayo, como este mes, ¿sí? Tenemos como muchísimas cosas para hacer este mes. Y también, how are you going to make 125 approvals happen in May? Surprise, sorpresa, vamos a tener 125 approvals este mes. Es como nuestra meta y sí o sí. ¿Sí? Porque es como lo que tenemos que hacer para get to our ambition. And también, see, como you get all the way to the end with us, there are some actually really exciting updates about payment and discounts and things from finanzas that I think you're going to want to hear. So I suggest that you stay all the way until the end, okay? Para como empezar, ¿qué pedo con abril? ¿Sí? So when I think about how if I could put my feelings about abril into a GIF, this is the only one that came to mind. Like, what is happening in the world? I was like shocked and amazed and surprised and happy, but also like scared. And every day was like oh my God, I felt like this in Mean Girls every single day. I'm not even kidding. And why is that? Well, let's find out. So we're going to look at the scoreboard, right? So basically our ora de no mames, ¿qué pedo en abril? In terms of números, right? Because if we have numbers, we can back up all the other assumptions that we can have about what's going on in the area. So this is for GT, right? If you see this color, it always means it's GT. See? So all these numbers in yellow are the goals that we had. Goals that we had for the month. So you can see we actually met our approval goal, which is really cool. We didn't grow in approvals, which is okay because we're not really planning to grow a ton in OGT, right? We're planning on certain LCs growing a lot in OGT and others kind of doing just the same amount, so that we don't, we don't decrease at all in OGT, but we focus most of our growth in what's coming in OGE. We fell behind in our realizations. You can see we decreased and we only achieved like half of the goal, which is a little concerning, but also it's, if we didn't have the approvals like we didn't in the last few months, of course, we weren't going to have the realizations. But if we have the approvals, it means we're on track to be able to meet our realization goal in the next month, which is a good thing. Okay, we are really, really great with applicants. We're almost achieving the whole goal, which is cool, which means we have enough people interested and applying to meet our approval goal this month, which is really good. And part of this, I think, is oGE is really helping with this, okay? Like we could always use more leads. We had more applicants than we did leads, which means that there is still for sure a lot more people out there that we can that want to go on a GT that we can recruit and help them look for opportunities and get them approved to have their experience. If you look over here on this side, this is the part that explains kind of how our conversion rate is and how our lag time is, right? So you can see that our open to applicant, only 27% of the people that go to open, so that sign up for Global Talent, actually start applying to things. Only 27%, which is higher than it was in the last month, but it also isn't as high as it has been in the past, and it's still not where we need to be, right? So that's why there's a sad face, like, oh no, we need to do more. If you look at how long it takes from someone once they apply to an opportunity to get accepted, it says here it's 13 days, which is interesting because I know some of it is done offline, which is okay because I know EXPA is being very difficult right now. But it's a surprising number to me because about the average kind of what we want, but I know that's really not the reality of what's happening to so many EPs. If you look at the number of people that are applying, only just under 3% of them actually get accepted to an opportunity. Only 3%, which is super low, which means that we're still not recruiting EPs for opportunities. We're recruiting EPs and then trying to find them opportunities, which is we know does not work. Right? And then the last thing I want to show you is that once an EP has an opportunity accepted, and all they have to do is fill the paperwork, pay the fee, fill the LDA, it takes them 14 days. Amigos, what the hell? I said this in Atlantis too, but like, what the hell? This is so long for an EP for us to be able to do just cositas, right? So this is concerning. This needs to be like 5 days at lo máximo, right? And right now it's 14 days. So algo que tiene que pasar. In terms of GE, wow, amigos, wow. Of course, this is not the peak for realizations in GE. So we met our goal, but está bien. We didn't even achieve half of the approvals that we were trying to, but we still achieved a lot, guys. Like we still achieved 43. To be honest, I gave you guys a really high goal because, of course, I'm very ambitious. I know you guys are too. I wanted us to reach for the stars. And we only achieved half of it, which means we have to make up some more numbers like this month and the next month. But it was also our first time really pushing GE the hardest we could. And we did 43 approvals in 1 month. And like half of those approvals happened during a conference, which is crazy and unheard of in ISAC Mexico. So we really are changing the game with this. So I want you guys to feel really, really proud of what you did. Because we grew almost 400% from the last year in GE. ¿Qué pedo? Wow, no mames. Está increíble, amigos. Pero puedes ver también que nuestro attraction in terms of opens and applicants is horrible. No mames. I was crying. Yes, we're getting like a lot of approvals and things, which means that maybe we don't need to have as many people like opening every day. We're getting better with conversion, as you can see here. Pero still, imagine if we were able to reach the people that we know we can, how many people could go abroad and could have this experience? Because still, for some people, for some markets, May, it's too late. The time for approvals is over. But there are still markets out there that May is not too late. May is still prime time to be approving. So it's about focusing on what's going to get us to our results for GE at this point, okay? to move on, so I don't know, I'm sure some of you guys saw this and posted on the Breaking Borders page, and I posted this a few at the very end of April as well. But this is the rankings in terms of all the LCs in Americas for the month of April in oGE. Like I said, we had 43 approvals, which was more than any country in the Americas, because it's that cool. It was number 3 country in the world. We were number 3 in GE approvals, just behind India and China. But out of the top 10 LCs in the Americas, 6 of them are from Mexico, which is like, it makes me so proud and so happy, because usually like you don't really you see Mexico up there in terms of the country, like we're doing a lot, but you never see LCs in Mexico that are ranked globally in something, that are standing out as LCs. And last month we stood out as an entity. These 6 out of 10, like, of the America's top 10, which is which are the top entity in the world right now for GE, is from Mexico. So I'm like really, really proud. So felicidades a STEM, ITAM, Puebla, Cuernavaca, Oaxaca, and León. Está increíble. You guys are amazing. Pero if you look at oGT, we were ranked like number 4 in the Americas this month, like number 10 in the world for the month of April. Pero no hay ningún LC de oGT en abril. No hay ningún de México. Entonces, esto para mí es un poco triste. Creo que podemos mejorar esto este mes. Pero ya, es lo que pasa. ¿Sí? Bueno, entonces vamos a también checar como nuestra ambición un poquito, ¿sí? Entonces, yo sé que Expo está un poco como iffy ahora, entonces, these are como los números de como hace unos días, ¿sí? Entonces, no están de hoy porque Expo no funcionó hoy. Pero está bien porque no hay mucho que ha cambiado en los last como 3 días. Entonces, puedes ver en terms of growing the most, amigos, eso pasó en Atlantis. Estaban como, we started to be the commission that was growing the most on the last day of Atlantis. So we are now growing more than IGV, oGV, and IGE, IGT in approvals, which is incredible. But to keep this up, we have to keep working really, really hard. And realizations, we're not quite there yet. You can see IGV is still like amazing, like huge shout out to the story makers there. But I know for sure with our Fruit Peak, we can pass them. So, también you can see in terms of the world, amigos, todavía somos top 6 en oGT, pero todavía somos top 2 en oGE para Fruit Peak. Está super, super increíble. Estamos como, we're like 40 approvals in oGT away from being top 3. 40, que es mucho, pero también no es mucho. And we're going to see why in a second. But you can see in oGE, we're only beating Brazil by like 7 approvals, which is not a lot at all. Entonces we need to like really step up our game and do even more and push it even harder to keep our place is above top 3 in terms of being top 2. Okay, so that's super, super cool. Okay, and in terms of United NRY, this is something that I started showing in Atlantis también that I wanted to show you guys, because to me, part of being united is, of course, believing in our purpose, working together, sharing GCPs, like, you know, having this strong culture and identity as pirates, which we are there. Of course, there's more things we can do, but we are beginning to have that way more. But also, I know to me and to a lot of other people that I was talking to, that united also means that everyone's contributing, everyone's doing something, everyone's acting towards making the impact that we want to make. And so I'm going to show you a few different graphs, but basically this kind of shows the breakdown in terms of where in the country the exchanges are coming from. So this one is GE, you can see because of this color, it means oGE, right? This shows by tier, so you guys might or might not know what tier you're in. If you don't know what tier you're in, you can ask your VP. And if you're a VP and you don't know what tier you're in, you can ask me, está bien. And this one shows by region, by región, ¿sí? Entonces puedes ver aquí que como Tier 4, que tiene como muchísimos LCs, como the most LCs, like of any tier, is doing about half the exchanges of approvals in oGE. Okay, está como bien, makes sense. También Tier 5, which is almost as many LCs, but again, they're the LCs that are more beginners, they're more just starting out GE. They're doing like 25%, a quarter of the oGE approvals that we have. Okay, también is, I mean, makes sense. And Tier 3, which is only 3 LCs, does around 20%. And Tier 2, which is 1 LCs, does 7%. So you can see like where it's all kind of coming from. It makes sense. And expansions right now don't have any approvals in GE, but also that's partly an expa thing as well. Pero por región es como una cosa súper, 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 súper diferente. Puedes ver aquí que en oGE, Centro está haciendo como 43% de los approvals en oGE. Sur está haciendo 38% de los approvals en oGE. Bajío está 13% y Norte está 6%. La cosa súper interesante sobre eso, porque Centro tiene más gente, bla, 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 bla. En Centro tenemos 9 LCs. Hay 9 LCs que están haciendo como 43%. Makes sense. Pero el sur aquí, que es casi all what Centro is doing también, tiene 6 LCs. Y de estos 6, 5 LCs are the ones that are doing these approvals. Entonces, sur, wow, congratulations. You guys are doing increíble, increíble. Norte tiene más comités locales de todos los otros regiones en todo el país y están haciendo 6% de los intercambios de oGE. Y en Bajío tienen el mercado más fuerte de las otras regiones y solo tienen como 13%. Entonces, 5 LCs en una región, en sur, están haciendo más que el Bají Norte en total, que para mí es como wow. Y puedes ver, en oGE es un poquito más, pero en realidad es como no es tan diferente, ¿sí? Really, it's como lo mismo. And you can see in terms of total, también es lo mismo. That in terms of the whole country, Centro está haciendo casi como 50%. They have the biggest city. They have 9 LCs, que está bien. Pero Bajío, Norte, Bají Norte, menos que Sur, que es 5 LCs. Entonces, felicidades a Centro, a Sur, porque ustedes están haciendo un trabajo increíble. Pero Norte y en Bajío, ustedes tienen que como hacer más. En serio. I want to see this more of an eagle graph, you know, to show that we're impacting the whole country and not just Centro and Sur, because our country deserves to have the whole country impacted by these products. And just a quick shout out to the LC so far. In the LC term, these are our top ones. So you can see UNAM, top 1 OGT, woo, SIM, top 1 OGE, woo. And in terms of total, SIM, top 1 overall, which is that increíble. Puebla también, UNAM, so close by missing one. ITAM, IPN, which is super cool. Y también puedes ver en como all these rankings, solo hay un comité local del norte que está aquí, 4 en OGT. No hay nadie más del norte. En terms of Bajío, tenemos Querétaro aquí en rankings para OGT, que está cool. En León, tenemos León aquí en oGE también. Y tenemos León en número 6 también en total. Pero no hay nadie más de norte o de Bajío. Sad tier. Entonces, vamos a ver un poquito más como quality, because you guys are probably like, oh my God, wow, we're doing so well. ¿Qué pedo? How? Oh my God, that's awesome. But also, oh shit, I don't really know. I need to look at these things. So go to this bit.ly right here, bit.ly/OGET results. Está en inglés porque soy pocha. Entonces, puedes ver cómo es de GSS. Bueno. So you can see here, basically, this has it separated by quarter, okay? So this tab shows all of the just approvals right now because we haven't hit our realization peak, so we're just looking at approvals ahora. Entonces, you can see this is ranked right now, and not by just in terms of numbers, right? To me, it's not just about are you getting the most, it's about are you growing, are you doing more, are you really like making the impact you want to make in your committee? So it's right now, it's ranked by growth, relative growth, you can see. So, también puedes ver de Q1 qué pasó. How much are you growing as an LC by both like in terms of just pure number, but also by percent? Or are you not growing or are you decreasing? So you can see here, overall, en todo el país, tenemos como 50% de los comités locales están creciendo. Que está súper bien. Creciendo un poquito, creciendo muchísimo, como Puebla, o Mérida, o Cuernavaca, o whatever, está cool. Pero puedes ver también todo el rojo aquí. Que la gente que no están creciendo nada, o también están they're decreasing. que está súper triste. Entonces, take a second para ver como dónde está su comité local. Y también puedes ver aquí, no, eso no es tan importante, pero puedes ver como aquí en mayo hasta julio, por como mayo y como the next 2 meses, how many approvals your LC did in oGE and oGT. Okay. You can see how many you did and how many your LC did last year. So you can kind of see really kind of what your gap is and what you're looking at, how much you have to make up for these next months, okay? So take another second to terminar esto. Para pensar como te sientes sobre eso. Estás como super proud of your LC. Estás super como disappointed in your LC. Estás proud of yourself because if you are, doing a lot of good work, you should. Pero también es como, fuck no, hay mucho más que puedo hacer. Porque it's probably a mixture of the two, right? And para mí es como, it is what it is, right? I'm not going to be like, shame on you LCs that are in red that are decreasing. No, because you guys know it's not a good thing. You don't want that. I don't want that. So I'm not going to regalar you, right? You know where you are. So for me, it's more about what we can actually do about this, whether you're in your green, you're in yellow, or you're red. And overall, you can see, like, as a country, this is kind of my feelings about this, right? We had a good Q1. Like, in terms of, if you look at Abril, en serio, we had a really good month. And we had a good February and a good March. We doubled our results from 2016 on both March and April. But it wasn't great. Why wasn't it great? Because only half of the LCs were the ones contributing to this growth, this doubling our numbers. To me, this means that we're on our way to relevance, which is all I know that you guys talked about in Gonal, about we want to be relevant. We want to be a relevant area, a relevant place. This is a step forward, but the next step is about consistency to me. It's about making what happened in the last 3 months happen again, even bigger in the next 3 months, and then happen again and again and again for every month of your term. Because it's one thing to say that we grew so much in March and we grew so much in Abril, but it's another thing to say that we grew a lot in February, in March, in April, in May, in June, July, August, September, October, November, December, and January. Every single month, that is consistency and that is relevance. And that's what we have to do in the next months, regardless of where you are right now, right? So, I mean, that's why May to me is like such an important month. If you look at like how the numbers break down in terms of a country, we're supposed to get 40% of all the approvals of the entire year, of your LC year, in the next 3 months. And a third of that has to happen in May, which is like, oh, really? I thought May was like summer and we didn't do anything. No, May is just the beginning of something else. I don't know if anyone knows what this number is. I'll let you think about it for a second. If you think you know what the number is, escríbame también. ¿Quién sabe? No sé. This number is how many approvals that 2016 did in the month of May. So overall, we did 53 approvals in April. This is how much 2016 did in May. So we have to pass this. Este número, ¿alguien sabe? ¿Quién sabe? ¿Qué significa este número? Este número es how many approvals that 2016 did in all of May and June and July combined. In 3 meses. 3 meses, we did like 114 approvals. But last year, they did more than that, what we just did, in the next 3 months, which means that we need to do way, way, way more than this. And what do you think this number means? Es un número super grande. This was how many they did in 2016 in the next 3 months. This is how many you were going to do in the next 3 months. 300 approvals. 300. Y yo sé que es posible. And if you don't believe it's possible, you will fail. Just like Yoda said. Bueno, entonces, para break this down un poquito, you can see for May, we're not going to go into every single month exactly how many we need to do, but we need to do 25 approvals, por lo menos, this month, okay? And for oGE, we need to do 100. Amigos, en serio, tenemos que hacer 100. Que es mucho, pero todavía hay un chingo de oportunidades que necesitan gente. Y hay muchos mercados en México que no tienen vacaciones hasta junio. Entonces, tenemos un mercado todavía, pero tenemos que encontrarlo. Y también, la cosa sobre mayo es como, es un mes tan importante porque tenemos como muchísimos approvals, pero también es como cuando empezamos con realizations, porque hay mucha gente que no está en la escuela ahora, hay mucha gente que van a empezar vacaciones en como 2 o 3 semanas, entonces tenemos que cuidar con como value delivery y todas esas cosas. Entonces, nuestra meta en GT para realizations es por lo menos 18. Y en GEs, por lo menos 40. Entonces, como 125 approvals and casi como 60 realizations. Okay. Es nada, ¿sí? Tenemos muchos approvals en los meses pasados. Entonces, es para value delivery, ¿sí? Because if you do it, it's fine. Bueno, and so I'm sure that you guys are like, oh my God, help, no mames, ayuda, ¿cómo vamos a hacerlo? No puedo. Tengo exámenes, tengo familia, tengo todas las cosas. Amigos, yo sé, yo también. I mean, tengo una vida fuera de Isaac. Yo sé que es una sorpresa, pero sí. Entonces, I don't want you to think of this in terms of, oh my God, qué estrés. Hay mucha gente que siempre piensan que I'm stressed out. Pero en serio, con eso, I'm not stressed out. You know why? Because I'm really just ready to have fun. Para mí, es como mis últimos 3 meses en Isaac. Entonces, I don't want it to be stressful, and I don't want to hate you guys. I don't want you to hate me. I don't want to, be working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I want to have fun. I want to enjoy myself. And I believe 100% that we can make this impact happen. So, it's about having fun, right? So, I'm sure you're like, still, but okay, really, Elena, how am I going to do this? How can I at least do 10 approvals in my LC this month, right? Because if every LC does 10 approvals, we will achieve that approval goal no problem. We have 34 LCs. So that means 340 approvals. And think about it in terms of how many members in your LC, right? So if you have 7 members on your team, if every member did at least 1 approval, that's just 7 in 1 month. If every member did 2 approvals, that's 14 in 1 month. It's really not that scary. If you look at how many members we have in this organization that are in oGE, oGT, how many of you guys there are, how many universities we're at, small. How many people you have, how many approvals you can do per month. But really, again, like I always say in every webinar that we have, this always starts about the kind of person you are, right? If you're not the kind of person that's going to enjoy this, that's going to have fun, that wants to fight for this, not determined, solution-oriented, being an entrepreneur, wanting adventure, being disruptive with this, like, it's not going to happen. You have to first look into yourself about the kind of person that you're trying to be every single day. And of course, remember our amazing pirate principles of disruption. But if you, again, wake up every day and try to follow these, then it makes it better. Be questioning. Always ask questions. Always be learning. Act as your first day in Isaac and also your last day in Isaac. Ask for forgiveness, not permission. Accepting cosas de legalidad siempre es, you need to ask for permission first. And always welcome failure, because if you fuck it up, you learn something and you can do it better next time. So, again, looking about who you are as a person, what you're trying to be, and the choices you make every single day is where it starts. In terms of course, strategies, because that's what you guys are all looking for. Amigos, at this point, it's literally just fucking do it. En serio. Es like, ustedes tienen todo. Tienen todo. Y si no tienen, write me. Have a one-to-one with me, and I will help explain it to you. Because at this rate, I don't know how many more resources or education or webinars or whatever it is. It's about you just going out there and being an entrepreneur and getting your shit done, right? So these 4 different things, or the 4 topics we covered in Atlantis. I know some of you were there, so yay, you guys should know all we're talking about. And if you're not, it's totally okay. But again, these are the things that really are going to bring us to be able, in terms of strategy, to meet our goal. But before I go in and give a quick reminders and things about those 4 things, I want to give you again a plan of actually how to just fucking do it. Simple 8 steps. So the first one, again, take a deep breath, breathe in, breathe out, and then smile. Smile, because this is not supposed to be hard or stressful. This is supposed to be fun and exciting. Then, once you have that done, simple, you need to then understand what your LC needs to focus on doing. With your team, your TLs, your VP, your members. Okay, what is our problem here? Do we need more people? Do we need more attraction? Do we have enough people? We need conversion. Do we have all the people we need? We need to focus on value delivery. Or do we need, we have all the people, but they're not converting. So we need a different market, or we need a different way to sell, or whatever it is. You need to figure out the thing that you also needs to focus on to be able to get you to achieve your meta, to your impact. Once you understand that, the what and the why, then you need to know the strategies of how your team, not just you as a person, but your team is going to make it happen. Again, the basic things you're going to do, not the numbers, the strategies, which are like the different things we're talking about in a second. The next one is have a personal plan of what you need to do daily to do this, right? So this is, okay, on Mondays, I have to do this. On Tuesdays, this. Wednesday, this. Thursday, this. And Friday, this. And it's not going to take up 8 hours of my day. On Monday, I need 30 minutes. On Tuesday, I need an hour. On Wednesday, 10 minutes is fine. Thursday, I need 3 hours because I have an event or something. Friday, just an hour to follow up on some things, right? Personally, every member, every VP, every TL, cada día tiene que hacer. ¿En cuánto tiempo? No es todo tu día, no es como toda tu vida. It's como cositas que tienes que hacer. Right? So once you have that, number 6, get excited about what you're doing. Again, this is fun. Like, enjoy this. When else are you going to be able to figure out a strategy and try a whole new idea and, get behind this cool purpose? This does not work like this in other jobs and companies. You don't get this experience. So enjoy it while you can. Get excited, commit to doing it, right? The accountability, commit to it. Incentivize yourself however you need to. If you achieve your goal, you would do your things, then you get to, I don't know, go out in una fiesta or un anto or something, and on the weekend, you get to eat a really good cake. You get to go make dinner. You guys get to have a great team dinner. Maybe Elena will come and you guys can have a party together if you achieve your goal. That could be an option. I don't know. Let me know. Whatever it is, incentivize yourself to commit to doing it. And of course, the last one is do it with teamwork. It's having fun. You're not by yourself on this. You have other people, right? So get other people to work with. So this is it. It's simple, right? Super simple. 8 steps. That makes sense, right? And the thing about these 8 steps is notice that only 3 of them have something to do with an actual plan, and none of them have numbers in them. Because focusing on the numbers is not going to get us to where we need to go. It's about focusing on doing the things that are going to actually get you to your numbers. And eso es la diferencia. Bueno. Ok. Voy a pasar aquí por preguntas. Tenemos uno de Pepe de Querétaro. ¿Cómo podemos ayudar a los LCs a crecer todos igual? Eso es una buena pregunta, Pepe. For this, hay mucha gente que saben exactamente lo que están haciendo, que tienen como a lot of success. Look at all, the LCs that achieved a lot in the last month. Ask them, talk to them. You're all in a WhatsApp group together. We have a contact list. There's nothing that, you can reach out to them and just ask them, right? We can also ask them maybe if they can make a video to explain what they're doing. You can, I don't know, if you happen to be in the same part of the city they are, ask if you can meet and have coffee with them to learn from them. Go to a team meeting if you're here with that, do whatever you can to learn what they're doing, if you're an LC that's achieving a lot and doing a lot, your job is to share. Just like, por ejemplo, Maria de UNAM, she had a great OGX day on Sunday, and she wrote all the things in the WhatsApp group. It probably took her, like 2 or 3 minutes to put everything together, and she sent it. And it gave a lot of people a lot of good ideas. So really, it's on people, you, to ask if you want to know, and it's on the people that are doing well to share what they're doing. That's all. It's super simple. Okay. Para ahora no hay más preguntas, entonces vamos a mover on. And me encanta que el grupo ahora está in the scoreboard. I was totally going to do it after this call, but Maria, you beat me to it, so yay. I'm so glad. Okay. Bueno, entonces, again, before we go through the 4 different things, attraction, lag time, value delivery, and cooperations, en serio, amigos, si no saben o no han leído o nada como el output de Atlantis, tienes que hacerlo. En serio, tienes que hacerlo. It's super simple. Todo está allá. And I'll even, again, if you guys don't know what the resource hub is, it's super easy. You go to the resource hub. You go down here to conferences. Aquí tenemos Atlantis 2017. Dear Iciker, you'll find here all the conference output. There's a PDF that explains all the basics of que pedo, the main messages, all these things. La 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 la. You can see the agenda, exactly what happens, and you can see all of the things cada día, right? So you can click, it'll bring you to a Google Drive that has all the things you need. So it's super simple to find, okay? Especially, again, all the stuff for the functional track, eso está super importante. So when it comes to attraction, I'm going to give you guys basically some tips for each of the different blocks that we have. Attraction, amigos, again, check if you don't have your tracker ready for your LC. This is going to give you, it lets you know, okay, how are we doing in terms of opens, applicants, what are we missing, and where are they going to come from in terms of channels, in terms of responsibilities, in terms of investing in digital marketing, whatever it is. This is your baby, right? So every LC should have one. If you're confused, if you don't know, ask me, okay? So there's a few different questions you can ask yourself for attraction. So I have 3 different slides, and this will be something for you to do later because we don't have a ton of time. It'll to do with the people in attraction with your team or your whole team, right? If there's one question, you look at this and you see that, fuck, we need a lot more leads. Where can you still go that have people interested that are available right now? Like, where can people that can start in June go? For GT, where can you go? GT is something that happens all year. There's no peak. So where can you go to get them? And how can you give them the right message to get them approved in the next 3 months, to get them that sense of urgency, to get them in the mood to want to go? And then again, which channels are you going to actually reach them through? If you check out the Putting Marketing Together session or functional track, you can find more info about that. Maybe the thing is, when you look at your tracker, you need more applicants. You have a lot of opens, but maybe you didn't contact them all. Maybe there's some problems with them or whatever, but you need more. So the first question you need to ask yourself is, why are your current opens not actually applying to anything? And then from there, you can start with the solution. Are you giving them actual opportunities there that are attractive? Are you capitalizing on oGE in terms of nurturing your leads? And also, what messages can you give the current opens you have that actually motivate them to apply? Again, check these same things to find more info on that. The questions, maybe you have enough open and applicants, but they're not necessarily the people that you need. They're not converting into acceptance or approvals. So again, ask yourself the question, are you recruiting EPs and then finding them ops? Or instead, are you recruiting EPs and then are you recruiting EPs for opportunities that you already have? Es cosa diferente, right? Second one, probably more useful. Also, how can then you run a 2-week recruitment to get the applicants for the opportunities that you need, right? Because at this point, it's like you need to just get people or you need to get people fast. For more info, puedes ver allá. So that is it for attraction. So again, go with your LC, go with yourself after this webinar, and you can go through this and create some ideas, come up with your plan of action for this. When it comes to processing time or lag time, you can see that it's basically like, for those of you that don't know, it's how long it takes an EP to move from one stage in the process to another. So let's say in terms of from open to applicant, it takes them 3 hours or 5 days or 1 month. from applicant to accepted, it takes them 7 days or 12 days or whatever, you know, so it's how many days. And the thing we talked about this because the question I asked everybody in Atlantis is, if we work faster, does it mean that we're going to grow? Does it mean that we're going to be better? And the thing is, and yes, it can, and yes, it cannot. But in terms of this context, we really have to think about that we need to work faster. Because logically, if you look at how much you're trying to grow in the next 3 months, that means that compared to what your LC was like last year, you either need to do things 50% faster if you're trying to go 50%, or you need 50% more people. Now, we're not going to have member recruitment in the next 3 months. So you have to work faster. It's simple. Again, it's about balancing it so it doesn't negatively affect your customer. You don't want to push them or be not customer centric, but logically you have to work this process faster. So, of course, you can see in the Education Hub and the Resource Hub, our last webinar had all the info on how you follow the process. Check the functional track output. You can also see your processing time data on EXPA. If you go to the Analytics tab at the top and then press Processing Time, you can see it, okay? So that is processing time. It's super simple. You have to do it. Otherwise, you will logically not be able to achieve your approvals in the next 3 months. Again, these are the answers to all of your problems, right? If you don't have one, you should make one. These are the resources you can use. We went over like a timeline to follow in the month of May in Atlantis. So again, just to remind you, last week was supposed to be the week that you, if like OGX that you recruit, you get to know your cooperation, right? So you do the expectation setting, you decide how you're going to, like how the flow of work is going to go, the plan, lining standards. Basically, you're going to see how you're going to recruit for the opportunities they need, right? Then starting again this week and next week, this is the hands to work, right? This means that you are recruiting and your measure of success is number of applicants, right? And ICX should be measuring themselves in terms of number of interviews. And then, of course, the last week and a half of Mayo, this is where the actual approvals happen, right? So this means you need to be focusing on getting them the payment, the documents, all the things we need for approval. And ICX gets them sorted on the visa, expectation setting, so that they're ready to come as soon as they can, okay? Again, just a reminder of the timeline. If you didn't do this thing in the first week, you have to figure out how to do this in 3 weeks. So that is the pedo for cooperations. And of course, these are questions, again, don't forget to ask in the call you have with them, right? So again, we're asking the questions for oGE, OGT. Make sure you have all those questions clear with your cooperations, right? And again, the basics of making a good cooperation. Understand exactly the context, supply and demand, alignment, all these things. Align the goal, communication, and accountability to how you're going to work. And finally, you're going to sell, recruit, improve, whatever it is, deliver to make it happen, right? Super, super simple. And finally, if you have doubts about cooperations, contact our amazing Jim Tarango, our MCB. She knows everything. She has all the resources, all the tools. If you still have doubts, she is there to help you. She wants more than anything for you guys to achieve your cooperation goals. So that is it. Value delivery, for those of you that might not know as well, there is some changes in terms of our measure of success as an organization. It's no longer realizations, it's completes in terms of the 16 standards. So really be sure, this is really important if you don't know what I'm talking about, to check out the standards keynote, check out the functional track, and then check out our value delivery page in the resource hub to see all the information you can about how to make sure you can do this in your LC. Right? This is not anything big changes for now. If you do what you're supposed to do, you'll be fine. There's no changes in strategy or whatever, but you need to be aware of how it's going to be interpreted and measured from now on is all. Okay? So that is all the 4 blocks. Again, it's those things, right? Remember the plan, the 8 steps that it takes for what you need to do in the next 3 months, okay? So right now, or I don't know if there's any questions that you guys have before we terminar con the very interesting and fun announcement sobre finanzas. I will pause for a few seconds or a few minutes to see. Dun, dun, dun. Pum, pum, pum. ¿No hay preguntas? ¿No hay nada? Pam, 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 pam. No preguntas, dudas. No veo nada en los WhatsApp groups o en el Facebook group, que está cool. Ok, entonces si ustedes tienen más preguntas después, está súper bien, no te preocupes, ok. Entonces, antes que nos vemos por la noche, tenemos updates súper importantes para ustedes that I know that you will want to hear about. So the first one is that OMG Finanzas. So there is a big change in terms of the way that they have to start reporting to AI, which means that Juano and the finance network has to change the way they start doing their accountancies, right? So there's something that's really important that you guys need to help them out with this, okay? And that's part of the problem they have is when they get their bank statements every month, they have all the amazing fees that your EPs pay because we had all these approvals and we're making all this impact, but they can't always tell what's from GE, what's from GT, and what's from GB. Right? So now, and right now what happens is for them to go pay at the bank, you give them a code that goes to your LC account, right? But instead of giving them that code, you have a new code that they can use, but it'll tell them exactly like in the bank statements what kind of product it is. So it makes things on their end much similar. And for your EPs, nothing really changes because it's just, you have to give them a code anyway. So you can see the codes here. I'm not going to leave this for that long because if you go to the resource hub, you can also see the new codes, right? So if they're paying for GT, you give it here. For GE, you give it there. So vamos a ver aquí. So resource hub, you go to OGT, consideration, because in consideration is when they pay. You can see again here. So as long as you need to look, they're all there. Cool? Okay. Segundo, amigos, tengo muy buenas noticias para ustedes. Es porque Pay Online is back. Está super cool. And you can start using it on Monday. So this means that your EPs, yes, we have the new bank references, but to pay, they don't have to go to the bank anymore. They can do it online. This was working a little bit, but then we had to change it because of some legal things in our compendium. So it's not up yet, but it will be up on Monday. So basically they'll be able to put in all their info here, put their product, and then just pay right there. Which means that they don't have to wait until Monday, or they're not constricted by banks being open or closed or long lines to pay. So you guys can keep pushing them and moving them forward so they can get to their experience faster, right? And amigos, this announcement is this is the most exciting one that I know you guys will be very, 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 very happy with because I know I am. And that is descuentos. Discounts are back. You can start using them again starting on Monday, which is super, super, super exciting. I was so happy when Juanjo gave me the news. So just a reminder, if you have a team member that's going on exchange, a GE or a GT, 10% discount, a team leader, a returnee, or an NST, 20% discount, or if you're EB or MCB, a 30% discount, amigos. So yay, this means that in May, even if you have a, markets that are like, nope, there's no school anymore, and there's no more recruitment to do, then, hello, your LC is full of people, and now you can give them a discount to go on a GE or a GT, so better be pushing that IXP. So this is a really, really good opportunity for that, okay? So that is all the updates I have. Remember that our meta más importante para mayo is 125 approvals. They did 49 in May last year, so it's totally possible with the rate that we're going. Being relevant means consistency of growth at this point. And of course, the realizations, 18 OGT and 40 OGE. If you have approvals, you have to start tracking the value delivery, okay? So again, do or do not, there is no try. If you don't believe, you will fail. In Elena's words of Yoda, okay? Entonces, gracias, amigos. Voy a quedar aquí por como algunos minutos más. Si quieres, si tienes más preguntas o dudas o algo. Pero si no, voy a como terminar la llamada. And I cannot wait to see us achieve our goal. If you have any other doubts, then you can always have a one-to-one with me. Caro from Laguna already scheduled a one-to-one with me. So if you want to talk to her, follow her example, you can talk to me. Can I stay forever? Well, I can't stay in ISIC forever, amigos. Pero I guess I can say this update now. I was looking for jobs in Mexico, and I found a job in Mexico, in Mexico City. So I will be staying in Mexico. Don't worry, I will not be leaving you, but I will not be in ISIC. So you will have an amazing new MCVP. He was awesome, Brenda. You are awesome. But I will still be here if you want to hang out, and we can go to parties and all that stuff. So, okay. Okay. Any other preguntas, dudas? Do. ¿Algo más, amigos? Last chance. As you hear the cars and planes in the background. ¿En serio? ¿Nadie tiene preguntas? I was expecting so many. Ah, ok. Gente están escribiendo ahora. Hay mucha gente que están escribiendo. Pregunta. Buena, Dana de UMX. Y la pregunta es... Sebas, ¿tienes una pregunta también? Porque dijiste yo. Pero... Ok. ¿Qué hago con las carreras difíciles que sí tienen el mood para irse, pero no encuentro nada? ¿Cómo entrar a una escuela en esta semana? Ataco sus grupos de Facebook, pero que otra manera sin involucrar a la escuela en sí, porque eso es muy tardado. ¿Qué le ofrece? Ok, bueno, entonces voy a empezar con pregunta de Dana. Bueno, sí, con carreras difíciles, usualmente eso es como ingeniería o como IT or something where they want to go, pero no tenemos muchas oportunidades. Entonces, para como empezar, you have to check, are these como carreras difíciles the kind of ones you should be targeting, right? If you are targeting them and there's opportunities, maybe we need to change the carreras that we're targeting. If it's just random people that end up signing up because they see it somewhere and it happens, it's como orgánico, está bien, but we have to be clear about the kind of opportunities we do provide, right? So it's nurturing them in a different way. Say, okay, we are ISIC. We are present in over 120 countries. We have opportunities in 120 countries, pero ahora no hay muchos de como your like background. So teach them how to search on the YOP. They'll be put into the oGE lead nurturing. So every week they get emails for opportunities that meet their background. So they'll automatically get emailed like 3 or 4 opportunities. But otherwise, it's not, focusing all your time on searching for opportunities you don't have. You have to be honest about expectations, but you don't want to say reject them and say no. So you say, this is how you look. You'll get these emails. Suerte. Con cualquier duda, avísame. Bueno, so it's up to them at that point. Okay. And of course, teaching, you can always offer them as a background, right? Some of them are like not interested in teaching, but it's always something you can say because you don't really need an in-depth background for teaching. Just like Pepe said, okay? Bueno, entonces, how do we enter a school in this week? How do we attack the Facebook groups, pero en otra manera sin involucrar a la escuela en sí, porque eso es muy tardado. Bueno, okay. Yes, you can start, it's just about getting people attacking Facebook groups for sure. Not just like through the ones you can get into, but if you have any members or students in those groups, you can use them to get into it. If you have any contacts in the university as well, what you can do is if you invest in digital marketing after if you invest in digital marketing, which is what we in the last webinar we told, not in the last webinar. There's if you look in the resource hub, there's a how-to of how to invest. What if you invest like money, we can put an ad that targets the students of that university that you want to get into. So it's just like you pay the money and there's not work you have to do after that. It's just, again, nurturing the leads once they come in. Okay? Webinar.
How much?
5 minutes. Okay. Sebas? Okay. En Expa hay veces que no marcan el total de applicants, así cuando buscas en Analytics de México. Ejemplo, esta vez tuve un app de GT, lo marca en mi comité, pero no a nivel México. Sí, eso es porque ahora hay pedos que de Expa. Bueno, entonces, track if you know there's an app, keep working on that and go by that number, which you know is true, right? If it's not on Expa, like I might not report it in terms of rankings or things, but know that it's there. And when Expa is better and it's fixed, it will be okay. All right, so go by what you know right there, okay? ¿Qué pasa con los EPs que me dicen que sí están en Expa conmigo, pero los busco y no los encuentro? ¿Qué hago? Okay, so check to see again in Podio if they're in Podio. If they're registered under your LC, it's okay. You might need to like work with some other different filters, right? So try not filtering just by GT or GE. Filter by like all interest because they might not be applying yet, so that might not show up in the GT or GT filter. You can check the timeline in terms of where you're looking for them. And if you keep searching for them and it doesn't like show up, just keep refreshing the page a few times, and sometimes they do show up. You kind of have to, it's like a thing with Expa. Yes. So yes. Okay. By the way, ¿cómo hacer que se enamoren de GE cuando todos quieren GT? Es una buena pregunta, Dama. Bueno, con eso, en serio, GE y GT son productos súper diferentes y hay mercados súper diferentes. GT es para trabajar por como mucho tiempo afuera de tu país, right? Entonces, it's more about people who are about to graduate or already graduated, right? They're looking for something more long-term, looking to make money, to really start like their first, like, you know, a job, right? When it comes to GE, these are current students who are interested in entrepreneurship, interested in business, want to learn, have a positive attitude, care about making a change in their country, want to contribute to the private sector, but they don't necessarily have any experience. So it's people within like their 3rd and 7th to 8th semester. And because the startups aren't looking for people with much experience, you know, usually it's not even the startups that make the selection. It's actually the ICX LCs. So if they're wanting GT, it means they're probably people that are not the right market for GE. But if they are the market for GE, it's explaining them and understanding that, okay, kind of what they're qualified for and what their background fits. You know, if you want to be able to take a GT one day, you're going to need some work experience. So what better way to get some work experience than going on a GE this summer? You can kind of play it off that way. Ok, así que, porque pasa con muchas personas. Y también como, chicos, una cosa más es que, en serio, como GE es un producto súper nuevo. Es como la primera vez que estamos vendiendo GE como un producto un producto diferente. Entonces, en tu mercado, es como, tú eres como la primera persona que estás encontrando el value proposition for tu mercado, ¿sí? Tenemos como lo para todo de México, todo el mundo, y sí, pero por como cada persona en tu ciudad, en tu estado, it could be a little bit different in terms of what works to say and what doesn't work. So that is something to know, that it's up to you. You're an entrepreneur in that sense. You're experimenting at exactly how to do that. Bueno, okay. ¿Hay más preguntas, amigos? ¿Cómo puedo agilizar el proceso de match? Buena pregunta, José Manuel. Bueno, okay. This depends in a lot of things, right? So what I would suggest you to do is go to the resource hub and look at the webinar we had from last month in Abril about processing time and lag time to see exactly how you can run the process from like a 12-day thing, right? You can also see it in the output of Atlantis. Read in terms of how the step-by-step process goes, and if you have any doubts, you can also reach out to me, okay? ¿Algún pregunta más. Creo que no. Ok, amigos, entonces creo que el MCP necesita mi cuarto para su webinar, entonces voy a terminarlo ahora, pero en serio, muchísimas gracias por tu tiempo hoy. Ojalá que era como super useful por todo. Perdón. Y remember, con cualquier duda, con cualquier cosa, avísame. Tenemos como un mes súper importante que viene y estoy aquí para apoyar a ustedes, pero en serio, do or do not, there is no try. You're going to have to make it work. Right? So have a great night. I will talk to you guys later. Bye.